Right. Okay. Um, so then, let's talk about what to do when you don't know what to do. Hey guys, welcome back to Building Steam. I'm Brian Fadrosh of Brian Fadrosh Designs. Welcome back down to the shop. Today I want to talk about those times where you're feeling uninspired or you're feeling unmotivated, and in some instances just downright lazy. I think there's a number of different reasons why that happened. I got 3 top ones that I want to discuss because I think as makers, it's something that we all encounter from time to time, and I think it's something that bears discussion. And that's just simply because, 1, lets you know that you're not alone in dealing with it, and 2, it's not a permanent thing. But before I get into that, if you're enjoying what we're doing here on the channel, by all means, make sure you're hitting the like button. Also, by all means, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. I would tell you to smash the subscribe button. I hear a lot of people saying that on their videos about, smashing the subscribe button. I really don't know what that means to smash it. That sounds dangerous to me. That sounds like, if anything, if you smash it too hard, you're going to need to buy a new cell phone if you're looking at this on your cell phone. So I would probably not suggest smashing it, but please, by all means, for us, feel free to gingerly hit the subscribe button. If there's something you'd like to see us specifically talk about or something that you'd like to specifically see us build, by all means, leave a comment in the section down below. But I kind of want to talk about those times where you're feeling uninspired, you're feeling unmotivated, because I do think we all encounter that from time to time. I think one of the main reasons as to why that happens is you really don't know what it is that you want to do. Now, when I say that, I don't really mean in the grand scheme of things, but it can certainly apply. But what I'm more talking about is having your attention divided among various things and not being able to determine which of those you want to do the most. So as an example, for me, it's a matter of trying to figure out which would I rather do today. Would I rather build something out of foam, or would I rather work on content creation? The trick to it all is figuring out which you're going to enjoy the most actually physically doing. Now, when I say that, I mean actually physically doing it. Would I enjoy more editing video? Probably not so much so. Or actually physically building something out of foam. It's the physical act that you want to get yourself into. Just thinking about it is not a physical act. Planning things and preparing for things is fantastic. But if you're stuck in that rut of being unmotivated or feeling uninspired, just thinking about it's not going to help, because all you're going to end up doing is thinking about all the other things that you're not doing or should be doing or want to be doing. And therefore, it's less time that you have to actually physically do it. So figure out which of those you're actually going to physically enjoy doing first, and then start with that. It's all about putting one foot in front of the other and then repeating. So figure out what you're going to enjoy the most and then do that. I think the next thing that people get hung up on is you need to be specific about what it is that you want to do. And when I say that, being specific allows you to really focus easier and then kind of cut through all of that other noise. But being specific enables you to be able to see that end result. Just as an example, there's a huge difference between saying, I want to get some yard work done, and saying, I'm going to get the grass cut. That's what I mean by about being specific. When you're talking about making, there's a huge difference between saying, I want to go down into the shop and make something, and saying, I want to go down to the shop and start working on Grifter's utility belts and gun because Sheila's almost done with her zealot outfit and she's going to kill me if I keep dragging my feet and getting it done. By being specific, that's enabling you to be able to figure out that end objective that you have. I think the third thing that really feeds into the whole feeling unmotivated or uninspired is the fact that people are just right now just overwhelmed, or you're at least convincing yourself that you're overwhelmed, or overwhelming yourself by thinking about it all. This is obviously something that everybody's dealing with in today's day and age. Never mind about there being a global pandemic and all the political stuff that's going on. You have a day job, you have kids, the dogs are barking, the grass needs to get cut, the dishes still need to be done, you still need to run to the post office, you still have to go to the grocery store because you just drank the last gallon of milk, and you're thinking of all of this and trying to deal with all of that before you've even finished your first cup of coffee in the morning. If you drink coffee. And if you don't drink coffee, I don't know why you don't drink coffee, because you really should drink coffee. But it's really easy in today's day and age to get overwhelmed. And I think one of the tricks to dealing with that is, one, time management. And I talked about time management in an earlier video, why Mondays suck and what you can do about them. I will put a link to that video right here somewhere to check out. It's one of my first videos, so obviously be gentle. However, I really honestly think that, finding some time management, figuring out where you do have time in those days and those hours to where you can not only do the things that you need to get done, because obviously you have responsibilities, but also to fit in time for those things that you want to get done. Time management's a huge thing, and I'm still actually learning how to do that better. Habitica, again, is a great app for that. But I found that by using that for an amount of time really gave me the ability to be able to form a habit of coming down into the shop and getting things done on really a daily basis. But in addition to that, made it much easier for me to start adding more things on top of that. So like right now, for the past 2 weeks, I've been working out almost every day. So, and I don't feel like I'm sacrificing any of the other things that I wanted to get done. And that's just simply because I'm structuring that time as I can. So I think those are the 3 things that really feed into that whole being unmotivated and uninspired. It's really not that you're unmotivated or uninspired. You just either really don't know what it is you want to do. You're really not being specific enough with yourself about what you want to get done, or you're just overwhelmed. And again, I really think that last one, being overwhelmed, that speaks to multitudes of people at this point. And that brings me to probably what I wanted to be the most important point of this whole entire video. And that's, give yourself the time and the space to feed your dream. Now, when I'm talking about feeding your dream, it kind of goes back to that whole axiom of, there's 2 wolves inside of you. There's a good one and a bad one, and whichever you feed the most is the one that's the most dominant. It's kind of the same conduct. It's kind of the same concept. I talked about in a video before, and I'll put a link down to that video before, why Mondays suck. I talk about your work-life maker balance, and I think it's important to kind of juggle all 3 of those things. But there are going to be those times where sometimes you just need to take a step back. Taking a break is okay. Stepping back from everything and focusing on something completely different is all right. And, focusing on something completely different can be something as simple as reading a book, picking up a new hobby. For me lately, it's been watching YouTube videos on videography and photography, specifically Potato Jet and Peter McKinnon. I don't have a DSLR. I have a crappy webcam. I eventually want to get a DSLR. I'm not ready for that yet. I need to give myself the time to be able to get to that portion of what I want to do. So in the meantime, I'm taking the time to plan for it and, learn everything that I possibly can about it. But, that's taking a break. Instead of coming down and forcing myself to make something that I really quite aren't ready to do, I'm giving myself those little breaks. Be patient with yourself. But give yourself those breaks. But believe it or not, even, looking at something that's not really fully related to my foam smithing, looking at video and photography stuff has given me certainly some much better ideas about lighting and setting things up and doing camera shots and figuring out how I want to do the content creation thing. And it all kind of feeds into that big dream and that whole big idea of what it is that I want to accomplish. But be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. And, by all means, guys, as always, be inspired, create, make, but do it at your own pace. There's a lot of videos out there that'll tell you, you have to grind, you have to grind, you have to grind. You got to do it every day. You got to do it every day. If you're not, it doesn't mean it's not your dream. I really don't think that. I think you're going to achieve your dreams and your goals at the pace that you are meant to meet them, if you're being honest and you're being patient and you're being gentle with yourself. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, happy making, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Oh, why is it cold?